see before you is a 1971 Lincoln Continental four-door sedan. These are not exactly Chevelles, Cudas, Camaros, Mustangs, anything of that nature, but it's mine. I bought it for $1,800, clean title, a couple states away. As you can see, the fun part of the whole will it run and drive, yeah, it does. Literally all it took was a carburetor swap, gasoline, and a little bit of Type F trans fluid, and it will drive around the yard and probably up and I could probably drive it to my local O'Reilly's right now if I really wanted to. I probably wouldn't have enough gas for it, but you get the idea. Anyway, I'm rambling, but the point is that this is going to be a hopefully very fun project that I can share with the internet, thanks to my, what I call it, experience, or what I call it, lucky wisdom on ownership of Lincoln Continentals of this generation. Either way, welcome to my channel. I'm Cody, and you're watching White Letter Tire Productions. Hope you enjoy. All right, so let's show off the goods. As stated, 1971 Lincoln Continental four-door sedan. You got the wide shot earlier, so we'll get a little closer here. As you can see, pretty much no rust. All of this down here is just surface. None of it actually goes through. The only through rust I've found is right here, and my other Lincoln had the same problem. The vinyl top and this body seam in combination just did a number on this poor car right there, and it's pretty close to being that way on the other side as well. These are not exactly desirable cars. As a matter of fact, their highest point of desirability is this right here, the indestructible and truly charismatic 385 series big block Ford. This is a 4-barrel 460 Ford, the biggest motor that Ford put in their passenger cars, I believe. Don't quote me on that entirely. Fun fact, the 4-barrel 460, the only vehicle that the 4-barrel 460 and the 460s in general, I believe, could come in were these full-size Lincolns, not Fords, full-size Lincolns. The LTD and the Grand Marquis and the Marquis in general did not get this motor. They got the 429, and most of them were 2 barrels. Cody from the editing booth here. I want to correct myself from the past and say that I meant to specify that pre-1972, the only thing that the 460 Ford came in was the Lincoln Continental and the Mark series. After 1972, or I guess starting in 72 and later on, they came in pretty much everything because Ford dropped the 429. So just wanted to specify. So I think you could actually get a 4-barrel option on those, but for the sake of this fun fact, these Lincolns were the only ones to get the 460 with the 4-barrel, and that's what makes them desirable. So that's why you got to be careful selling these cars, because most people will buy them and then pull the drivetrain out and then leave what is a pretty damn good car just to rot into the ground. I mean, I bought this car for $1,800, and is it perfect? No, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, this is a nice leather interior. All the lights work. Well, most of the lights work. I won't give the car too much credit here, and I just remembered I disconnected the battery. Oops. As you can see, the very cool wheel cap covers. Very simple, very elegant, but again, this car is just solid as a rock. I've already checked underneath it when I bought the car and put it on the trailer. Is it straight? No, not perfectly straight. It's got a couple love taps. You know, Grandma probably got a little crazy in the Kmart parking lot a couple times, so watch out, shopping carts. Yeah, so it has the same problem that my other Lincoln actually had, which is that, oops, gas tank rotted out, and the previous owners did the liberty of pulling it out for me, which was very nice of them. As you can see, there's a distinct lack of gas tank, which is good for me because that means I don't have to get the nasty varnished gas tank out of here all on my own. They did it for me. Luckily, Rock Auto, for anyone who's interested, sells gas tanks for these cars, brand new, Spectra gas tanks. And they sell them with the little lock rings and all that. So all you have to do is source the vent on top and the sending unit, and of course, like I said earlier, the grommet, which is a pain in the butt to find. As you can see, I've got a little parts accumulation going on over here. Here's that vent. You can actually buy this vent. There's I'll go into more detail about that again when I go to install that. So anybody out there building their own Lincoln will have the information. One of the other things the old girl is going to need is some work with the door latches. This side, she no work. And I believe all the rest of the doors handles work. Yeah, so that one works fine. The driver's side rear one worked when I bought the car. It opened fine. We're gonna find out. Nope, yeah, so it locked up too. So both the rear doors do not open, unfortunately. Both the front ones do. Another issue it has is that for some reason that glass got out of line. And you can kind of hear it's catching on this piece of stainless trim, and I wanna fix that before that gets wrecked. But as you can see, this interior is not black, it's actually green. Let me get a light, if I can remember where I put the dang thing. I put it exactly where I wouldn't find it. Perfect. I'll put it back there next time too. As you can see, green. When I actually saw the pictures for this car on Facebook Marketplace, I thought it was black. Nope, it is dark green, which makes this a black on green on green. Is that how the color combination works? Black on green. So it is a double green, single black car. That's a cool little feature right there. So that, I believe, is the original owner. There's a whole story about that. Again, I will go into detail towards the end of the video with all the paperwork. As you can see, the dash is in, well, the dash top is not in fantastic shape. It's actually got a few cracks in it, which is a big bummer. Huge bummer is the windshield. They do not remake windshields for these cars as far as I'm aware, so that's gonna have to be sourced. Somebody, probably day 2, put a cruise control module in it. That's underneath up in here. Let's take a look at that real quick. There you go. And since this was a Washington car, it does have a block heater in it, which is also pretty cool. It's got a couple things in it. As you can see, it's got a compressor. I think every one of these Lincolns had AC. I don't think you could option without them, but something to note that this is a Ford style compressor in 72. And I know this only because I have a 72. It's that 2-door you saw earlier in the video. Those go to the GM A3 style compressor. I believe it's an A3 is the designation. Something unfortunate though about the car is that somebody has already been into it. The guys I bought it from obviously tried to get it running at some point. Well, unfortunately, as I've noticed with the little bit of work that I've done to it, some of the electrical switches in the car are gummed up. And so I guess they thought that the ignition switch on the column went bad. So they tried to like wire around it or something. I'll have to figure out what's going on there. But anyway, I've got a new switch. But unfortunately, they've been in the wiring. And I'm really hoping they didn't butch it up at all. Or if they did butch it up, then not that much. But I'm still finding things as I go along. The fender skirts are in the car. You may have noticed that they were gone on the outside. I do have them. Got some service manuals there. That's the box for the fuel pump I used. It's got a rebuild manual, it looks like, for the A3, which is interesting. The GM style compressor for 72, the one that's in my other car. And I believe that's right. There's these little trim pieces that go in between the front and rear doors. Unfortunately, those are both broke. By both, I mean there's one for each side, so I'll have to source that. Another thing that kind of bummed me out is that they tried to get access probably to take the steering wheel off so that they could disengage the keyed lock, because it's got a locking steering wheel like much of the 70s vehicles did. And they didn't realize that the screws were on the back. Classic blunder. So they just kind of ripped the steering wheel center off, which really blows because these are color matched. Not that the steering wheel was in fantastic shape to begin with. This will probably get replaced with some wood grain unit that similar to what I did in my brown 2-door Lincoln, my 72. So we'll see how that works out. But anyway, that's a general view of the car. As you can see, the vinyl top is pretty well tore up, but the metal underneath doesn't look bad. Like I said, other than those 2 spots. The trunk, hold on, let me get the keys for the trunk. Let's see how much crap I can hold in my hands at one time. Another cool feature of these Lincolns, got this little latch covered. I should also note they're not supposed to stay up like that on their own. They should snap back down freely, but everything's gummed up in this car. Oh, heavens. I have opened this recently, so that's kind of surprising to hear that. So I do, oh, that's right, I've got some stuff in here. Anyway, ooh, my grandfather gave me that, hell yeah. There's the original jack, as you can see. Still got the original carpet inside. That's where you stow the jack behind there. Let's see if I can prop this up. All right, here we go. That is where you store the jack under there. It's kind of hard to see because my light is terrible. Maybe my budget will go up in the future for these videos. It's still got, I mean, this is honestly in really good shape. Again, I'm just saying this for the camera. I've already seen most of this stuff, so I'm not too surprised by it. But yeah, I got some wiring here. As you can see, the jack usage and stowage sticker is, it's holding in there. I wouldn't call it good, but it's definitely holding in there. Unfortunately, oh, that's because I got the battery disconnected. I believe that actually does work, the courtesy bulb. But it looks like I had some, oh, actually those guys that I bought it from might have let that in there. Hey, there's some Type F. I actually needed that. I used a little bit of Dextron to get this thing up and going, but we're gonna flush the transmission, so don't worry about it. Anyway, that is the original jack. I recognize it because of the fact that it looks just like the one in my 72 two-door. Unfortunately, the spare tire is missing. That blows a lot because, not that it's particularly difficult to find a 6-inch wide, 15-inch Steely with a tire on it, but there's a couple of things, like for example, oh, actually it's right here. I wonder if, no? Okay, well, I'll keep hunting. I may find it eventually, but either way, I hope all the jack components are there somewhere because that would be super cool. If you couldn't tell, I am a sucker for originality. It's really a big reason why I bought this car. Look at that script. Oh, I love Lincoln Continental so much. But that's the one new tire I had to put on it. The rest of these are from 1988. And they are actually not in terrible condition there, I believe, down in the treads. No, okay. Well, okay, so I've been proven a liar by the one good tire on the car. I could almost guarantee the rest of these are not that good. Damn it, this is really not working in my favor. Is this one bad? This one's a different tire. It's got some dry cracking. I bet I could drive on these. Oh, wait a minute, nope. Yeah, no, that one's no good. The rest of them are fine. I'm just gonna lug nut. A little bit of trim coming off there. Not a huge deal. We'll get that figured out. Unfortunately, the big thing that I don't know how I'm gonna fix, but I really look forward to finding a solution for, this. So, that's not gonna be fun because they obviously, as you might guess, along with the majority of the rest of the interior pieces in the car, actually, I'm gonna safely say every interior piece of this car is non-reproduced. They do not reproduce anything body or interior wise for this car unless it came in another Ford vehicle that was far more popular. So that's the reason why these cars are typically pulled for that and nothing else, which is really, really why I wanted to save this car, because this car I'm going to call right now 99% rust free. The only rust in the corners, and that's solely because of the vinyl top. I may find some more under this vinyl top, I think. Oh yeah, there's right there. There's a little bit of rust trying to come through, bubble up. But otherwise, this thing is solid. It's even more solid than the one, my 72, which I keep mentioning. Again, at some point, I will make a video on that car because it's got such an awesome family history. That was my great-grandmother's car, and she personally gave it to me. But again, that's another video for another time. But this one, I am inspired by that car to get this one back on the road. So there's the tour. Let's begin. All right. Well, first things first, we need a list somewhere to inject our thoughts, not our feelings. We don't do that. But where we might need to compose. This isn't a very good box for this, but I think we're gonna make it work. All right. So let's begin. First things first, as you noticed earlier, fuel pump. Gonna have to get that figured out. Eventually the windshield being cracked. We're gonna do assemble gas tank before it goes in. Install gas tank. It's probably a good one. Oh, radiator hoses. Fluids, probably should do oil change, probably a good one. Fuel lines. Checking the brakes. Call that brake service, why not? We need to replace the ignition switch. I can't remember what else I've got in that box. I'm sure it'll come to me at some point. I'll just add to the list as we go along, but carb rebuild, even though we could just use this carburetor, eventually I'd like to do that. Would just be nice to have the factory stuff. So we'll do new hoses / lines pretty much everywhere because it's going to need it everywhere. So that's kind of our list so far. Oh, door latches. At some point we're going to need tires to drive it down the road safely. I mean, even though we discovered these aren't actually cracking that bad, probably ought to go ahead and just put some new ones on it. Why not? Wash it, clean interior. New lighting effects around the car, like turn signal indicators and running lights and what have yous. So we'll just say lights. Sure, why not? That seems all right for now. We can always pick up on that list later. But for now, we've got a way to start keeping track of what we need to do. So obviously, I think the first thing in order is to replace the fuel pump. I actually have a new one sitting on the shelf over there, so let's get that installed. That way I don't have to keep getting out of the car to start it and keep it from burning down. First things first, probably ought to take a peek up under here. Best way to get to these on these fuel pumps on these vehicles is actually from underneath. It's right next to the oil filter, so I'm just going to take a peek under there and see how, if I remember correctly in that process of how easy or difficult it may be to get out. But I think it won't be that difficult. Also, doesn't hurt to do a little inspection while you're under here. And well, the first thing wrong that I see is it's got a Fram filter. Take you guys up under here. It's probably not going to be easy to see, but there's your pump. There's that crappy oil filter. If it's orange, just throw it in the garbage. Go ahead and get yourself a Wix, like I said, or at least a Motorcraft or something, not a Fram. Anyway, that's our fuel pump. It's kind of hard to see, but you're gonna have two bolts kind of up on top. There's gonna be one, if I can get my finger, on this side up on top, and then the same spot on the other side up on top. And you can kind of see from below, and with where I got the light at, you can't. But anyway, just gonna get these lines disconnected and hopefully get it replaced real easy peasy. I'll see if I got some line I could put on, try and avoid reusing that old line that's probably about to come apart. I'm sure once I take it off, I'll find a bunch of cracks in it. But anyway, I'll keep you guys out of the way here, and I'll get that done. Ooh, shiny. Remember, kids, chrome don't get you home, but you'll look good sitting on the side of the road. And, sure enough, got some seals for it. There's your part number, in case you got a 460 Ford and want to know. Obviously, this is a new fuel pump, so these things are, of any brand, are notorious for not working because they aren't made in USA anymore. Breaks my heart, but what can you do about it? I don't think there's anything of importance in here for me. It's literally just, I mean, I appreciate they did this, but it's fuel pump. I don't know how you screw that up. Oh, that line is really bad. I think that's just gonna get cut off, to be honest with you. I don't really want to deal with that. I think it's ½ inch. Only ½ inch on the hard line. Correct.
Indeed it is. And it can't, yes, it broke loose, easy. All right, cool. You love to see that. I know Chevys are, I've got these fuel pumps in pretty much the same area, but I feel like they're just easier to get to. Ugh. My eyeballs. Yes. Oh, no, there we go. I'll tell you what, this is going to be a truly, I mean, there might be some words that come out when the new pump goes in, because this is, it's easy to access, but man, these bolts are a pain in the butt to get to. Yeah, this is, it's only going to get more interesting from here. Yep, coming. Ugh. It's June bug season here in Texas, and June bugs aren't scary, but they're big and they're noisy, which basically makes me hate them. June bug just landed in my crotch area. Alright, using the old pliers as a wedge trick. Oh, yeah, there we go. It came out. Oh, there's varnish everywhere. Oh, hell. Ooh, woo. Shouldn't have done that. Dude, we got the same part. Not really. Is it gonna have, well, they do reach out to the same point. But as you can see, they're not identical. Typical parts store. Sell you a part that's like almost the same. Not really. I wouldn't be surprised if this fuel pump quits on me after a little bit, but. Alright. Got the old gasket material off. None of it came off in a full chunk. Clean up my hands just a smidgen. Yeah, it was starting to get dirty under there. It's been about an hour of just scraping that damn thing off. So I think I'm going to change my mind and actually go ahead and put a skim coat of some, just a real thin coat of some sort of grease or maybe RTV on this. That way it doesn't leak, because I still didn't get it all, even though I took some sandpaper to the surface and it does look pretty good. But I'm not risking this thing leaking. But either way, this is getting sealed. Alright, so I couldn't find the RTV, but I did find my grease and a little old trick that you can do to get this stuff. So this obviously is not a sealant, but what it will do is it will make a good kind of like a tack to the surface, that each surface that it's going to, and it'll help to kind of bridge or build up any gaps, fill in any small gaps that there might be, with the added benefit of it will stick. But this will definitely help at least a little bit in the sealing department, because instead of a dry gasket, we're now lubricating it with something that's not only sticky but is also very viscous. So it should form again a less permanent than RTV seal, which is exactly what we want in case I ever have to take this off again. Heaven knows I probably will. I'm gonna call that good enough. Alright, well, the fuel pump is installed. All I gotta do now is connect the lines. Oh boy. You know, they really ought to invent something that goes over your eyes to kind of protects things from falling in them. Oh well. Anyway, let's get these lines hooked up. There's the new fuel pump installed. Let me tell you, that was a pain in the butt. I wish I could have brought you under here for that, but there's just no room to do that. Maybe if I had a lift. Luckily, the hard line appears to fit just fine. So we're gonna go up top and start replacing some rubber hose, and obviously I'm not gonna be hooking up this rubber hose that goes to the tank because there isn't one, and I need to clean that line out anyway. But for now, let's head up top, see if we can hook everything up to the carburetor.
All right, so it's night 2 of working on the Lincoln. As you remember last night, we got the fuel pump installed. Don't know if it works yet. So that's what I'm gonna be getting done here, is cleaning all this mess up, getting all the fuel line. I got some more fuel line. And we're gonna be hooking it all up to my auxiliary gas tank here. That way we can test to make sure the pump works before I get going on running lines back to where we're gonna be having the new tank installed. So just gonna get this cleaned up real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and test it. That end figured out. Figure out a routing situation here. Routing, whichever one you want to say. We're gonna get this going here. Tuck that right there. That's sitting there, and all that's out of the way of the belts and whatnot. All right. These random items just kind of sitting around everywhere. Before we go ahead and test it, something else I picked up is this carburetor stud. Yeah, that should be tall enough, I hope. Unfortunately, one of the things I do not have is the original air cleaner lid. I did not get that from the guy. He probably still had it sitting somewhere. It was probably with the car, because this thing was probably original when they tried to revive it, and I didn't ask why they stopped the process of reviving it. Again, I assume it was because of the fuel tank issue, and they either couldn't find one for some reason, or had some other issue with it, or they just lost interest. That could be it. Couldn't have been, maybe not anything serious at all. I don't know. Either way, unfortunately, I do not have this original, so I'll have to find one, which won't be that hard. Everybody's selling theirs on eBay for like $50 because they don't want them. So, because they're replacing with this crap. I mean, this is not classy. It's just not. Now, if that said Moroso on it, ooh, just long enough. And I mean just. I do have oil for an oil change. I know this thing runs, so it definitely deserves an oil change, so we'll probably do that as soon as I test the pump. But let's give her a couple rips. Why not? Remind me to get battery cables. We need that too. In fact, I'm gonna put that on the list right now. Oh, she's a little smoky. Sweet. All right, so that's good. Now I don't have to come up here and screw around with wires and risk burning the car down with the alligator clip wire. Oh my goodness, she's a little smoky. I think she might burn some oil. It's professionally routed right there. Excellent. Well, next things next. The old girl could use an oil change. So we know she runs pretty good. Needs some tuning now.
Definitely ran better with that electric pump, which is interesting, but either way. I should note at this point in this process that I do not remember, or I do not know, I should say, if this vehicle has 47,000 miles or 147,000, because the motor, with how greasy and nasty it is, looks like 147. But the rest of the car looks like 47, given the no rust, but then, and how good a shape it is, with very limited body panel damage, and the interior being in as good a shape as it is. Well, I mean, it's dark. Noise machine activated. Don't need no damn frown cover. Put a Wix in it. While I'm here, I'll just put some lubricant in the hood hinges, where they last a little longer. Heaven knows I'm not going to be finding these in the junkyard anytime soon if they go out, so. Right in my eyeball. Didn't much. Work it in. Oh yeah. Bueno. Muy bueno. So incredibly, and I actually never opened the glove box until now, which is kind of interesting, but wow. I mean, wow. Really, really nice. Looks like they may have spilled one thing there. I don't know if that's animal related or if that's just that. I do not have a clue what that is, and that has me a little concerned. There's the cool plaque. Part of the really awesome story of this car that I'll get into at some point. But, yeah, for some reason that is sticky. Oh, it's all sticky. That's weird. Anyway, so, yeah, the carpet's in definitely... Oh, well, I didn't notice that before. Something else. It's missing the passenger side floor mat, I also noticed, which sucks. But, yeah, that's kind of a bummer. It's can't really see any reason why they would have done that, but oh well. I'll have to get in there and clean all that and put new grease in the tracks. You can see some of the original plastic seat cover. I'll have to peel that out. This piece just unscrews, and then we'll just get in there and take her out. But yeah, you can kind of get a good idea of the green in this interior. Just gorgeous. I mean, this is such an awesome color combo, I think. I know a lot of people don't like the 70s colors, but the greens and the browns, but I'm a big fan of it. And there's more back here. And now that I look at it, I wonder if this window was left open, because that side is not nearly that bad. It doesn't have all it does. Ooh. Hello there. When did you come in? That's a Black Widow. Can you hear the excitement in my voice? All right, so against what many people would like me to do, I have evicted the non-paying tenants from our vehicle. Very humane. Let them out, but not my problem anymore. Anyway. Let's continue on with this. Hey, I found a light, and you can actually see now, which is really cool. We're going to be installing this ignition switch underneath here, and to install these, if you don't know, which most people probably would not. Let's be honest. You actually need to drop the column a little bit to access it. Man, that stuff is real sticky. Yeah, I want to figure out what's up with that being so sticky. But anyway, because this sits like this on the column, on top of it. So you'll have to drop the column a little bit, and it's actually not that hard to do. So I'm sure we can knock it out fairly quick. Obviously, we're gonna run some hiccups, I have no doubt, but for the most part, this will not be that difficult of a repair. So let's get into it. To be honest with you, probably should have vacuumed out the interior before I did this, but you know what? We're here. Yeah, looking under here, it looks like, yeah, they hot wired the brake light switch for some reason. I don't know why they did that. There's also a switch disconnected from this fuse. Also not sure why that was done. We're gonna leave that unhooked for the time being though. Hello there. Are you an extremely loud mosquito, or are you a mysterious bug that will give me a disease that I will never recover from? So I've actually got a pretty good idea, or not even just an idea, but an actual know-how on how to do this task, because I've done it before. So I'm one step ahead of some people who, all right, well that's not factory, but we're gonna keep it in there because there might have been a reason. That was probably structural. I'm one step ahead of people who have never touched one of these cars before. Let's just put it that way. There's a great feat to this, which is trying not to drop the column on your head, but at the same time getting it down. Oh, there we go. I also should not be forcing it. I'm definitely gonna break something like that. And as mentioned before, everything for this car is unobtainium. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, what's hanging up is the shifter stuff. Yeah, so a lot of people may have also noticed this. There's a lot of things you may have noticed that I forgot to mention, but this vehicle has the shift indicator in the dash, but it's a column shift. So there's a little like wire that goes up into the dash. So it makes this task very difficult. Okay, so that just kind of chills in there. I think I just got it actually. Oh. Yeah, I do think I did. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, so there's a loop. It's gonna be hard to see with the light in the background, but here you can see that's that little cable that goes up to the shift indicator in the dash. And like I said, it's column shift. So they have a little cable and a sleeve that you can see here. So you just take that little bolt out and then unhook it from, without the light, I've only got one hand. There's a little guy right here, little black knob, and you just unloop it from that, and then you'll be able to drop the column. All right, so as you can see here, we've got both of our ignition switches, and it goes like this. And the reason that's in here is I think there's a spring, and it's just easier to have it there, or else it tries to spring out or something like that. Anyway, this works, but I guarantee you when I got the car first, you would not have been able to do that. It was actually that gummed up with that electrical greasy crap. But that's what I want to show you right there. The camera will focus nicely. We've got some very melty wires going on there, and I assume that's because something overheated from the fact that it was gummed up, and the people before me who tried to get it running and tried to revive it, probably it's stuck and then overheated the wire or something of that nature. But anyway, as you can see, the new unit is pretty much, well, it's not pretty much, it is identical, with the exception of some of the colors of the wires are not exactly the same. And that's not a big deal really, but it'll go on exactly the same, with the plus of not being melted. I made sure to confirm that. Not that it has ever happened to me, but anyway, let's go get this installed. Ugh. Woo! All right, got the battery hooked up, and we're gonna see how well it works and how I tested it, but I didn't actually start the car with it, so we're gonna see how much better it is. I think it's going to be a whole lot better based on how it felt without the car getting turned over alone. I mean, it was good, much better. So here we go. Oh my goodness. I mean, that's that is significantly better. I mean, it's not even. Ooh. Yeah, nice, bucko. All right, so I can see that when this pump was put in to circulate water through the block to keep it from freezing, it was put over, obviously, this wiring harness, so it's a little difficult to get access to it. So I'm going to take a break from this, which I thought I was going to be doing first, because I didn't think I had everything I needed to do the new hoses for the radiator, but it turns out I do. I think this radiator is good. It hasn't leaked at all, but anyway, now that I've got a pan to drain everything in, I'm going to go ahead and drain the coolant out of the system, change the thermostat and the thermostat housing gasket, because it obviously leaks. It's leaked down the front of the motor. And also I'm going to remove this water pump. At some point I'd like to actually put it back in. I think I mentioned that before, but I want to build a bracket that looks nice rather than just having it sit here in the engine bay, which looks terrible and is probably dangerous to some extent. So I'm going to remove that. It's only just rehooking up this piece of pipe here, which has some crud in it. I'm gonna pretend like we didn't know that, but anyway, I just bolts in right there. I may just pull that out and then clean those hoses out as much as I can, if I can. But we're gonna go ahead and drain the coolant so we can replace, because this is rock hard. This was replaced later at some point, so it's pretty pliable still. So honestly, it doesn't need to be removed, but this hose, like I said, rock solid, rock hard, and I know I want to do the radiator hoses just for safety, because I'm sure, being as old as they are, I might uncover these and they still say Motorcraft on them. I don't know, but I'm guessing not, because these aren't factory hose clamps. But anyway, and I just noticed that. But yeah, it looks like every hose, actually now that I look at it, was replaced at some point on this motor, because that one was, and I should have gotten that. That's rock hard too. Surprise! Every hose on this thing is rock hard. Would you believe that? Alright, so due to some discoveries, such as the fact that the drain cock for the radiator would rather remove itself from the radiator than come loose, we're just going to go ahead and enact the band method on the radiator hose instead. How much of it's actually making it in? Oh wow. There it's going everywhere. Soaked up. I don't want any of the cats around here to get ripped in that. That'd be bad. Next thing I'm going to do is compare radiator hoses, your old one with the new one, make sure it's vaguely correct. And obviously, as you can see, this AC Delco lower hose that I've got here is pretty much identical. So we're going to go ahead and get this puppy installed. I'll see if I've got some nicer looking hose clamps. That way at least it looks decent, even if you can't really see it that well. I'm just kind of anal like that, but you know. Alright, now onto the upper hose. Hopefully it will be significantly easier. I can only imagine that it will be. Although now that I've said that, I'm sure it would be incredibly difficult in some way that I could not, that my feeble mind could not possibly have imagined, which is just great for me. Okay, inexplicably, this one does not have a spring in it to prevent it from collapsing. That's a little weird. We'll take that off. Let's get our new one. As you can see there, guys, the curves aren't quite as tight, but it looks like they'll still come out to the same spot. So that's good. Yeah, it's a little longer, but I think it'll be alright. Yeah, I know something was obviously living in here at one time, as you can see. Along with everything that's caked on the motor, all the oil that makes me suspect it's a 147,000 mile car, not a 47,000 mile car. There's a lot of hair, and so I think there was some critter living in here. What kind of critter? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's nasty. Just because I'm gonna clean that up with corporate power. Yeah, a 180 thermostat. This is probably still good, honestly. I don't think there was any. I never got it up to temp warm enough to find out if it was good or not. I just bought a 160 because I don't know the condition of this radiator, how good it's gonna work, so how well it's gonna work. Pardon my English, but I want to keep this. Definitely want to keep this just in case we find out that the 160 is too cold and the engine's not getting up to its correct temperature, which we may find. But I think it's just coated with so much oil, and I think this radiator and the cooling system needs to be flushed. So with that in mind, we're gonna keep the 180 so I can put it back in if it comes out to not get warm enough. But given that it's the beginning of summer here in Texas, early May, I don't think we're gonna have a problem with it getting too warm. I think we're gonna have a hard time keeping it cool, so that's why I bought the 160. But anyway, like I said, we're gonna keep this just in case. Just pulled off. Something else is gonna have to be changed with the valve cover gaskets. Alright, there we go. Easy. Easy. Let's do the 3/4 one first since it's on the bottom. Alright. So next course of action, it sits right over on top of that, so I'm actually going to get the 3/8 line, or hard line I mean, 5/8, no, 3/4, hell if I know.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the...
Just for the sake of ease, I'm going to go ahead and jack the rear end of the car up. That way we can actually get pretty decent access. I got some new carriage bolts with nuts and washers because the original ones, which I threw away, unfortunately, so I didn't think to keep them to show, but they were cut off about right here. Obviously, they couldn't get the nuts off to get the gas tank out, so I went ahead and went to my local hardware store, bought some of these. I also have some new tank straps, which I'll show you in a second. I think I know of a way that I can get you guys underneath the car with me, so we're going to test that out. Well, as you can see, it's got one of the original tank straps. I actually put this in just to test and see how, so I can get that measurement between here and these little slots where the carriage bolts go into up here. Just get them sitting up in here. And there's gonna be a lot of hosing that I'm gonna have to run. So I'll try and show as best I can myself doing that. Something else I'm gonna have to do now that I remember is clean this up as much as I can before we get that installed in the tank. Cause man, oof, whew, that's bad. Oh, ooh, that's nasty looking. I think what I'm gonna do is kind of put it up like that. Ow. I had power tools. That would be pretty convenient, I think. What you may notice here is that the gas cap, or the gas door, is missing. I actually, thankfully, have the door and the mechanism and the screws that go to it in that bin that was in the passenger seat. So what we're gonna have to do before the filler neck gets installed is actually put this piece in. That way I know how deep to put the filler neck into the tank, because that affects where the flange on the top of the filler neck here sits, because this little plastic housing piece has to be up against the side of the car, obviously, and bolted in. But if this is too far in, it can't, the filler neck, if it's too far into the tank, it's too far into the car, and you won't be able to get this plastic piece on. So we're gonna go ahead and install that now. It doesn't need to be installed now other than for this reason. So, all right, because I did not actually film myself putting the tank together, or if I did, I decided not to use the footage because it was incoherent or poorly done for whatever reason. Here is the link on eBay to the correct gas tank grommet where the filler neck goes in. And for whatever reason, it doesn't list as fitting the Lincoln, but it does fit this vehicle. I've used this one in my two-door Lincoln and this four-door one, which I can't show, like I just said. But anyway, if anyone's trying to buy this part, this is what you look for on eBay. There's other ones that say they fit Lincolns and Fords, but they're a different design. This is the correct one, so. I think this is one of them challenges that he gives people sometimes to test their strength. And, I intend to win this test. I intend to pass this test. Alright, there we go. So, yeah, that standard squeeze clamp back there is super tight, which is not great, but I think it'll be good enough. Get that put up. Go now. Alright, let's see. What? No way, is this not the tire iron for this car? What's it doing in the trunk then? What the? Oh. Yeah, that's good. Go ahead and boom. We're gonna see if we can get the fuel line converted over to, or replace this fuel line, I mean. I don't know if I've got enough of it, but we're gonna find out. I may give up on this and not use this clip, but it'll be hard to get in there. There we go. Yeah, so super stiff. Alright, it is a new day, and what you see before you is a contraption, a gizmo, if you will. I got a Dremel, and a couple years ago I bought this little extension for it. That way you can remotely just kind of wave it around dangerously towards your face. It crossed my mind that I don't have to necessarily get this thing off in one piece as long as I get it off, because I can just replace it with a hose clamp. So if I can get one of these down there and just cut it off, why not just do that? So we're gonna give that a go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she gonna fit. All right, let's give her a go. Ah, yes. Yes. Good riddance to bad rubbish. I went to the parts store and got some parts on my way home. Unfortunately, they did not have any of the clear filters, like the ones that are good that we all like. But they did have these, and you know what? It does the job. So maybe I'll go online and buy some nice ones. These are 3/8. This is pretty much the exact same one that I had. I don't even remember where I got that from, but it does the job. So we'll just use it. I'm gonna run it just in line, probably right here, kind of in the fender well a little bit. And then this one that we had up here, I'm gonna go put back by the tank. Just can't see anything. Alright, there we go. I think that's gonna work. Ugh. Right under all this. Oh yeah. I mean, perfect. Alright, just scrubbed it with a little degreaser, and man, they cleaned up pretty darn good, I'm not gonna lie. Hell, you could probably take this thing to concours after this. I am actually really excited to see how all this is gonna clean up. Oh, there we go. Boom. Anyway, let's get ourselves cleaned up here and get some gas in the tank and see if we can prime her up and get it running off that alone. That would be ultra sweet if I could get that done tonight. So now we get to do the thing that I've actually been wanting to do since I got this car, which is remove our auxiliary gas tank and reveal a piece of rubber hose that was trapped in there. Huh, interesting. Okay, anyway. Made that shot, by the way, into the garbage can. But this means, I think, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, well this one's way out of whack. Holy cow. I need to do some adjustment on that side. Golly, man, that thing is... there's a little gap there. So yeah, we'll adjust it. It looks like if I just adjust the stops to where it stops right here, that'll be perfect. Oh yeah, that's classy. That's perfect. All right, so even though that's not imperative right now, I'm gonna do that. So as I stated, I attempted to fix the droopy headlight door, and unfortunately it didn't really work out. In this footage you can see I'm kind of looking at it, trying to figure out what it was. Turns out the fiberglass inner liner that is kind of the, I guess the structure of the header panel of the car, and is what the headlights actually mount to, and the bezels and all that. And the doors themselves mount to this as well. There's a stopper on the left side of the inner headlight there, on the driver's side, and that stopper, the spot in the fiberglass where it was mounted to was actually cracked and broken, and because of that it didn't have a stopping point, and that's why it drooped so low. Now eventually I did figure out a fix for this, and I don't actually remember what I did. I'll put little pictures up here in the video to show what the fix was, but unfortunately all this work that I'm showing footage of here briefly didn't actually work out. So anyway, back to me getting ready to fire up the car for the first time on its new fuel system. Any critters in here? Yes, that is an excellent position to be in, because now we can get to the point of cleaning the car up, getting it more roadworthy with new tires, get into the braking system, because although the brakes do work, when I popped the master cylinder cover off, there was no fluid. I think in the rears, they're gonna have to obviously be gone through. This thing probably needs rubber lines, but that's a pretty good place to stop for now.
Well, it may not seem like we got that much done, but in reality, we actually kind of did. I mean, it's not really a small thing to get a gas tank, a carb swap, a fuel pump, an ignition switch replaced, as well as doing an oil change, replacing some coolant hoses, and some battery cables. I mean, that's not nothing to sneeze at. That's a good amount of things done, but we're really going to kick it into high gear on the next episode when we get into cleaning the car and doing a couple other things that are really going to be necessary to getting this thing back on the road. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for watching. Please consider leaving a comment, liking, and even subscribing. I know this is my first video, but it would really mean a lot to see a lot of views coming to this and then the next video in line, because I just really want to share these cool old Lincolns with the world. And if you do too, then again, consider subscribing. It's free, and I hope to see you in the next video. So thank you so much for watching White Letter Tires production. See you later.